you're at the top of your game and you've just won the biggest prize in enduro racing. Then the next minute you've got no job and no way of racing the following season. What do? Well, for pro enduro racer Hattie Harnden, that was the unfortunate truth coming into this season. So I took some time out to go catch up with her in her hometown of Malvern to see what the season had in store, what had been going on, and we'll just kind of hang out for the day. So let's not get ahead of ourselves a minute here. Who is Hattie Harnden? Well, the 24-year-old shredder has 17 national titles spread across XC, Cyclocross, Enduro and downhill. She's raced in 12 World Championships and has 2 top 10 downhill World Cup results. She has a whopping 29 EWS and EDR top 5 finishes with 9 wins. She's finished in the top 3 overall at EWS and EDR 3 times, including her most recent World Cup overall in 2024. But the numbers, they don't tell the true story, the full picture. So let's go catch up with her. Hey, how are we doing?
Hello, come on in.
Thank you very much. Hattie, all right?
Not bad.
Good. Thanks for letting us join you for the day.
Yeah, welcome.
I thought we'd sort of kick things off with a little look back at last season, Louna. How was it on like the run up to that? How did you feel? Obviously, what was going through your sort of mind, being where you were at in the season with that race coming up?
Yeah, I think it was a lot really. With it being so tight, just had never really quite been in that position before. And yeah, you just kind of have to hope that going through all your normal processes will bring you out on top. But fortunately, I had like the downhill team there with me as well as the enduro team. So I had tons and tons of supportive people around me, which was brilliant. And yeah, I got some great advice from a couple of people just about, you know, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And I was very much of the lines of, right, I'm just gonna be me, do my riding, and you know, if I win, I win, and if I don't, then I'll try and do it again.
So just leaving it up to fate, essentially?
More or less.
Really?
I mean, I think if you try, I think possibly I can overthink things a little bit sometimes. You know, like you try too hard.
Yeah.
And then you can actually almost make things worse, or like your riding gets worse or whatever. So I was very much like, right, I've done the hard work, I've put myself in the best position possible, and you know, I'm just gonna hope
for the best.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
Go out and ride my bike.
And it paid off though, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, because it was tight. Knowing it was that tight, so all the way through the season, how was that?
That was really exciting actually. I really enjoyed that kind of starting in the leader's jersey after the first race, but then actually losing it to Isabeau in Poland last year was possibly the best thing that could have happened, I think.
Really?
It really fired me up. Like, we had the closest finish in that race, and I think, then I was the one chasing, and I think it's nicer to be chasing rather than the one being chased.
Yeah, I think that's a better way around to be to have a target, right? Not be the target.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just kind of chased it all season, and I think, I don't even know, it just went by in an absolute blur, but kind of started in the jersey and finished in the jersey.
It's not cool, a bad season. Yeah, it's amazing. So then from that, you obviously, the emotions of winning the overall are obviously very high. And then not long after that, we had World Champs. Now, you've done 12 World Championships across various disciplines. You know that? 12 World Championships across various disciplines.
That's a lot.
On the run-up to this. How was this? Were you thinking, right, I've got the win not in the bag, but you were feeling confident, having, the leaders?
Yeah, I did have a lot of confidence coming in, and I did unfortunately have a couple of mechanical issues in the race, which was frustrating, but I did feel like I definitely had it in me to be on the podium, and that's what I was really aiming for. And obviously, I did want to win that jersey. I mean, I feel like I've been chasing it for a while. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed with fourth place. I mean, it's the chocolate medal, as everyone says.
But I mean, fourth is still an incredible result. Isa obviously took the win, a much-deserved victory for, sadly, someone who's retired. Hopefully we might see her come back. Yeah. We'll get on to World Championships this year in Enduro and downhill. But yeah, fourth place, a bit of a kind of unfinished business, should we say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, let's be honest, after winning the overall, like, anything other than a win was going to be disappointing.
Yeah, you'd see the bar had been set high, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of set myself up for, like, the chances of disappointing myself were high. So, yeah, I think afterwards I realised as well that, like, winning the overall was what I really wanted to do last year. And, you know, I accomplished that, and that was amazing. And, you know, that's possibly harder than winning the World Championships, you know, putting it together throughout the whole season, no injuries, no, like, huge crashes and mechanicals and things like that. So, yeah, I think that was actually a far bigger achievement for me.
All right, so moving on again. 2024 season wrapped up, World Cup overall, 4th at World Champs, hell of a season. Boom, Trek goes.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Yeah,
yeah.
5 years? 5 years on Trek, was it?
5 years on Trek Factory Racing and 11 years with Trek Bikes.
Yeah, that's like a long...
My entire career.
Is it actually your entire career, basically?
Yeah, from day one. Yeah,
gone.
Completely gone. And to be fair, I was excited about something new for a long time. And then when it got announced, I think it got announced like publicly in early December. Yeah. And it really kind of hit me quite hard.
That's when it was like damn, it's happening.
Yeah, I remember like sitting there and I just burst into tears. I was like, I can't believe actually like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, that's like that's like all I knew. And I was like, wow, like, I feel like I'm kind of starting again, but exciting, but scary at the same time.
Yeah, so with Trek departed,
or
Trek just no longer part of Enduro, unfortunately, at the moment. Like what happens for a pro racer when it's like end of contract, or in this case, end of team, and finding or being part of a new team?
Yeah, so normally you would have something already lined up. Like often people sign things as the season's going on. Yeah, like June, July, mid-year, right? Yeah, deals exactly. Are being done. And I mean, sometimes you'll wait until after the season's gone, but you'll have something lined up and you'll sign it like, you know, September, October time. Yeah. It's pretty rare to not have something lined up when you've had a really good season, I think. I was going to say, especially for a World Cup overall winner. Yeah, that's... Cool. I've not really heard of that happening before much, but yeah, I think normally you'd have something sorted and then it would be a pretty smooth transition in the sense that you'd get on the bike as early as possible, you'd start meeting people, getting to know people, you know, you'd get to visit the bike HQ headquarters. And stuff like that, and that all kind of happens behind the scenes over the winter whilst, you know, social media is kind of low and everyone's kind of just getting set for the next season. Put teasers out there and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So then come January, boom, like all the videos drop and everything of like so-and-so's going here and all of that. Yeah, it's all the announcements, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. So there was like definitely a period though for me where it was kind of like a dead period where I wasn't really sure what was going on. You nervous? I was quite nervous, but I was just kind of like, you know, deep down, I was just like, right, it's going to be what it's going to be. I want to know, if you hadn't have signed or sorted with AON, would you have carried on racing Enduro? Yeah, so I would have gone to being a privateer and had all my own sponsors and just got a bike from someone and then individually been sponsored for components and all of that. Just put your own deals together. Yeah. And you'd have stuck with Enduro, you wouldn't have been tempted to go, because I think Downer's very expensive to do, right? Hard to do as a privateer as well. Yeah, like the process of getting into it, isn't it? Yeah. God. So, it's quite a unique situation to be in with all the changes that are going on, but I do think in the long run, these changes will benefit our sport. You just got to be patient. Yeah, good things come to those who wait. Exactly. Rome wasn't built in a day. Do you know what doesn't wait? The gym. Should we go? Yeah. Smooth, that, wasn't it? That was smooth. New season, switch from enduro to downhill. How's the approach looking for it? We're doing anything different? Obviously, we are in the gym. Strength training is generally done for everything, but are we mixing it up because of downhill? I've been in the gym more and more consistently, and just like the loading I've been doing in the gym has been a bit different, just a bit more like specific to the downhill stuff. But I've still been riding lots, still pedaling lots. I believe I need to stay fit. Like, it's good for me even if I wasn't riding bikes. So yeah, I mean, not loads has changed, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling stronger and fitter than I have done. So it's exciting.
So those kind of more fitness-focused tracks that we might see coming up this year could be a time to shine, maybe.
Hopefully, time would tell. You never know.
Yeah.
Hold on for 4 or 5 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah, true. And New Year brings a change in bikes. We touched on the departure from Trek earlier, AON Racing. Now, for those who haven't seen, go back through the back catalogue of GMBN. You can see where we caught up with AON Racing and the bike that they're on. But it's a Gamux. Sego is the downhill bike. With the Nikolai Enduro bike.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to be doing too much Enduro this year, is it?
No, just the first round in Pietraliga next week, and then hopefully Enduro World Championships as well.
Okay, fingers crossed we might see you at that too. What's it like getting used to new bikes? Because they are very different new bikes. Both got gearboxes, both belt driven.
Yeah.
Big changes, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything's been different, like from the wheels, tyres, like cockpit, bike, everything. So it has been a lot of change, but actually it's been easier than I thought. Definitely like first couple of runs on the Gamux when I did it back in finale in January, it felt very alien, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I do feel like a complete beginner. But then, it's like with anything new, you kind of ease into it, you figure it out, you get a feel for it, you mold around the bike as well as the bike molding around you as you make adjustments. So yeah, honestly, I can't imagine anything better now. Like I've had time to ride it and get used to it.
Did it take much adaptation, like your riding style? So you were on a slash before, right?
Yeah, slash in a session.
Yeah, and then so, I mean, not just from bike to bike, but like gearbox, how it shifts, because it's got the pinion electronic shifting on it where you can change gear without having to pedal.
Yeah.
There's a lot to take on board, isn't it?
Yeah, lots of change, and even just the fact that like the slash and the session relatively quite stiff bikes, and then like we had quite stiff wheels, stiff suspension.
It's carbon everything.
Yeah, and then you go to the Sego and it's it's a lot more flexy, and then we're running carbon wheels though, and then we've got like there's flex in different places, and it makes for a completely different ride. But actually, I realised I really, really enjoyed it, and it makes for me riding a lot more fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, see, it's kept that kind of spark going sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly, and it just kind of means that you can ride in a different way, and I almost feel like I'm riding better on my bike because I'm just a bit more playful and I'm just kind of switched it up, which is really nice, something fresh, and yeah, change is good.
Change is always good, you're right. And then how do you go about sort of managing your time now that you're obviously still full-time racing? Today we are gymming it, we're going to go for a ride later, obviously going to have to stop at a cafe, a little morning cup of tea. Time management, sort of fitting it all in, is it just, do you have like a trainer? Do you have someone who plans stuff for you? You keep it pretty casual?
No, I have a trainer trained by a guy called Phil Dixon, he trains a lot of different athletes. Like he works with the Cannondale XC team, and then also Matt Walker, a downhill rider, and trained me. He's trained me for like last 5-6 years almost.
Okay. Yeah. And then do you find that obviously over the years, just at the beginning of the video, we went through just sort of how many different disciplines that you've competed in. XC, cyclocross, enduro, downhill. Does that help keep it fresh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because obviously each one has its own sort of slight requirements and changes, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, and I go back to each one a little bit if I want to. Like I think it gives me like such a wide range of kind of things I can do. So like I have a bike for everything. So like, if I want to go for a cross-country ride, I can go for a cross-country ride, or road ride, cyclocross ride, whatever it is, downhill, anything. And I think that does help keep things fresh.
We better build up a bit more strength. Should we carry on the gym section?
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, I'll leave you to it. what does a normal day entail? Obviously, we're out for a spin now. Is this the usual?
Yeah, this is a pretty normal sort of day. Most days are rides, so some sort of ride and gym is kind of one of my favourites, really.
Is that like, that's the general combo, ride, gym? You said earlier about going out for like a little coffee. It's not too focused on training as such, but...
Yeah, well, the training's the main priority, and then what I can fit in around that is just, you know, for my enjoyment.
Okay. Oh, it does seem cushy, doesn't it? That seems like quite a cushy kind of day-to-day life when you say it like that.
Well, it's not always as glamorous as I think I've made it out to be.
No?
Like there's other things that you've got to do. You know, you're washing in the winter when it's wet and cleaning bikes, and you know.
I know what you mean.
There's other bits to it as well, where it's not quite as just riding bikes and going to coffee shops.
But that is a big part.
It is a big part. Yeah.
As we will get to a coffee shop in a bit. Obviously, season's about to start soon. We're literally weeks away, 2 weeks from the first round.
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously doing first round of the Enduro World Cup.
Yeah, 1 week away.
Yeah, which is in Pietrelagher in Italy, obviously. And then we've got Bielsko-Biala, first round of the downhill. Yeah. Excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, how does the season, once it kicks off, you know, it's a lot of travelling, packing, unpacking. You've got constant racing. How does that, like, change your mindset? What do you get up to then? Is it just focused purely on racing?
Yeah, like the focus definitely does shift. Like you can't train as hard, as consistently as you have throughout the winter. You definitely have to like back things off a bit, and I guess you're peaking for certain races. You can't peak for everything, but you have to let your body freshen up and recover. And yeah, you do take a lot more time to make sure as well, mentally as much as physically, that your brain is up for the job, really.
Like not getting burnt out sort of thing, like,
yeah,
obviously. Yeah,
exactly. Like even after the weekend in Fort William, like I took a couple of days to just do a couple of things that I wanted to do, just to let the brain kind of process it and be like, right, okay, we've done the first couple of races, you know, like we're ready, you know, they went well, and just,
They did go well, didn't they?
They did go
well. They did go, don't be like, oh, yeah, they did go well, you won it. You smashed it, so congrats there. But that's the thing, is it's sort of mentally unwinding and then sort of re-preparing for the next one, I suppose.
Yeah, and just kind of ticking along, like you've done the hard work now and you just kind of have to maintain your fitness throughout the season. You're not gonna get fitter really throughout the season. You should already be fit.
Yeah, put the preparation in beforehand.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. So the hard work's done now, so we get to have fun.
Okay, and well, actually, that's great sort of that you said that, because I was gonna ask, how do you keep it fun? You know, training can be fun. It can also be a bit monotonous, especially in the winter. So things to keep it fresh. I know earlier we touched on, obviously, you'll ride different bikes if you want to mix it up and stuff. Is that anything else?
During the season, just to keep it fun, like you just need to make sure you're seeing other people, you're doing all the things you would normally do as well. Like, don't drastically suddenly change anything, I think is important, because, you know, your body's used to certain things, and, you know, if you're seeing friends and things, don't suddenly, like, stop doing that. You need to keep those kind of simple little pleasures in your life, for sure, and you can't get too focused, I think, is also the important thing. It's not the be-all and end-all, and yeah, you can get tunnel vision sometimes if you're not careful.
You can get so caught up in it, can't you? Just like focused on numbers and results and...
Yeah, and you know, like if it doesn't go so well, then there's always the next one, and you just reset and you refocus and you go again. Like you've not suddenly forgotten how to ride a bike.
Yeah, I feel like I have sometimes. Nice, interesting. Well, should we carry on riding?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, let's go. I mean, this is a lovely ride. Thank you for showing us around. With the season coming, what's the goals for 25? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I have a lot of big goals, really. I mean, obviously, I'd love to be on the podium, and I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say I wanted to win one.
I think you'd be lying if you said you didn't want to win every one.
I mean, you got to dream big, you got to aim high, and yeah, I mean, obviously that's the biggest goal, but. Yeah, I mean, I just want to have a good, consistent year, really, and kind of just get one under the belt with the team and just see what we can do together. I mean, it's a big learning year as well. But yeah, obviously I do want to try and get on some podiums.
And is that, so with the team then, how just quickly, how did AON come about? How did it come about?
It's a vision of Reese's. He's had the vision for quite a while, and finally, you know, like contracts were up with Trek, and he was like, right, it's the time to try and make
that got hold of you.
Vision. Yeah, it was him. About actually like this time last year, he first kind of mentioned about it because he knew my contract was up. His contract's obviously up, and yeah, we've been teammates for 5 years. We know each other quite well, and yeah, he obviously saw me as part of the vision, so I'm very honoured to have been selected as part of that.
Yeah, and you have got a cool team around you, that's for sure. Yeah. So is the, you know, stop me if I'm wrong, the AON thing a multi-year deal?
To begin with, it's just 1 year for me, but you know, that's just because it's a big learning, and as well, obviously the sport's changing a lot. So, you know, hopefully in a year's time, the industry will be a bit better and teams will be able to support athletes a little bit better, and you know, more brands will be behind it all. So fingers crossed.
So one at the mo, but watch this space.
Exactly.
I'm sure it'll be many more. All right, should we carry on and get to that cafe? I'm gasping for a cuppa.
I'd love one.
Would you?
Yeah.
Do you have cake with it?
Always.
Oh, correct answer. Let's go riding, shall we?
Coffee.
Hattie, had a well good day.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to sort of have a nice casual chat, a little insight into what you get up to, what's going on, what's been going on, what 2025 holds.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. Thanks for showing us around the Malverns. Great Malvern as well.
Yeah, you'll have to come back.
I reckon I will. Look, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed hearing what Hattie's sort of been up to, what's going to go down in the future. If you'd like to know any more about any other pro riders potentially, let me know in the comments down below. But from this lovely little coffee shop, we'll see you later. Cheers.